I have no idea what's going on. Battery's not charged. Files aren't getting dumped properly. I'm gonna be freezing. It's part of life. Okay, here we go. Brr, this is gonna be cold. Oh, it's gonna be so cold. Oh, it's gonna be so cold. Question number 1. So this wasn't really a question. It was hey guys, I just got my new motorcycle. It's an M109R. It's the first time I've ever gotten a motorcycle, and I'm about 40. And I'm like, me too. That's exactly what I did. I never had a motorcycle. I rode some 4-wheelers, 3-wheelers, even like a giant dirt bike when I was a kid. Like a giant dirt bike. Like, not, I don't know how to explain it. It had like blinkers and everything, you know? But I didn't know what I was doing. And I was probably like 16 or so. And this thing was beast. I mean, I weighed like 119. I wrestled 119 in high school. So, a 5'9" at the time, I still am. So I'm a small dude, right? Riding this dirt bike, and it just like, I couldn't keep it up. Like, of course I was out in the fields, and there was like tractor tire ruts and cow hoof print deep in the mud, and when I was out on the straight road it was great, and I just rode it, but I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about riding. Okay, so fast forward to, you know, I'm 40-ish, and I'm like, okay, hon, I would like to get a motorcycle. And this took me, actually it was in my 30s, because it took me years to finally get one. I had always saw the M109R, and I had always saw this picture of it. I didn't know anything about motorcycles, and I just always saw this one picture of this M109R. It's the one where I'll show it to you. It's got like car tires as tires, because they're like ridiculously wide and all of this. So my dream was, yeah, that's the motorcycle I want. Okay, well then I didn't realize it was like heavily customized. So eventually I figured out what kind of bike it was. I would go and look at them and sit on them in the, you know, at the dealership and all that kind of stuff. Well, eventually I'm like, hey, I can actually buy one. This guy's got one for sale. And I start doing reviews and reading about them, and everyone says, this is gonna rip your arms off. And this is one, at the time, the biggest, fastest bike they made, or something like that, like of the style, of course. And so I'm like, okay. Like, that didn't scare me, because I grew up going to car shows. I grew up driving street rods. I grew up working, well, not grew up, later I was a car dealer. So my first car was a 1974 Plymouth Fury 400 muscle car. They call this a muscle bike. I've had fast cars. I've driven fast cars. So I understand power in a vehicle, and so on a motorcycle was the same. There's a reason that the first video of me riding my motorcycle out my driveway, I'm like babying it, because I'm like, I know what this thing can do, and I need to be comfortable with it. So here's the story. I went and looked at the bike. Never rode a motorcycle in my life besides, you know, the dirt bike in high school. So I go and look at the bike. I don't even test drive it. I just am like, yeah, it looks great. You want to start it? Sure. Okay. Yeah, it sounds good. I mean, I know engines. It didn't sound like I had any problems. And the guy had, you know, you could see the pictures that he had customized it and worked on it. So it wasn't like he didn't know what he was doing. He's my age or whatever. So, I mean, I even, like, when I got off the bike, didn't even turn the handlebars the right way. Like, I mean, I think I got off on the right side, the left side, the correct side, you know, like a horse. So all that to say is I didn't know what I was doing. So all I said, here's the deal. You got to wear protective gear, and you've got to go to the classes at the local community college. So that's what I did. Right there, actually, at that community college, I went and took motorcycle training classes. The class was super worth it. I learned a lot. I was really careful with this bike when I first got on it. Just incrementally did things. I didn't go 100 miles an hour the first day, and I remember trying to turn the thing in like a neighborhood, and I was going too fast because this is lowered, and so you can't tip it as far. So you got to go slow in the corners, and you know, the things they teach you in class, like that you push on the left bar to turn left instead of turn the handlebars. Like, you gotta test those things and learn them and practice and all that kind of stuff. But you know, now I'm super glad that I got this bike, because I was able to drive it like a normal bike and then learn its power and get accustomed to it, and not, you know, I wasn't an idiot. I wasn't like, oh right, let's go, and just go full bore the first day. Like, you shouldn't do that with anything. I think that's my a coworker behind me. Yeah, pretty sure it is. Pretty sure it's Alice. Hi, Alice. To the answer the question of should the M109R be my first motorcycle, the answer is yes, it can be, but you can't be an idiot about it. I mean, for me, if I would have started with the C50 or the C90 or something else, I would have been disappointed eventually, and I would have been selling the bike and getting another one. It just depends on what your long-term goals are, you know? Like, what's your long-term goal? Are you just trying to get a little cruise in, or you wanting to, like, drag race people street light to street light? Because I wouldn't have been able to do that with any other bike I would have been satisfied with. I just don't think I'd be satisfied. Everybody around here has Harleys, and I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be like everyone else. I like to have something different and unique, and pull up to the parking spot and someone be like, what is that? I like that. And I just like the power, and I like the price. I mean, you can get this bike for half of what you could get an equivalent Harley for. And it's extremely customizable. You can have them look a million different ways. They're all different. You can make it your way. If you're scared, yeah, then don't get the bike. I was scared in a respectful way, but I wasn't scared in like a I can't do this way, okay? So if you're in the I don't think I can do this, yeah, go ahead, go get you a little tiny bike. If you're gonna be patient and you're gonna respect the power, then you could do it. Scrape! So hopefully that answered your question. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I read all the comments. I answer all the comments. I don't claim to know it all. There's no way I know it all. Okay? But I'm just going to give you my experience, and then you mix it with whatever you read everywhere else and see what you can do with it.
Dogs are more intrusive.
I've never had a dog. I never will.
Yeah. They're more intrusive. Hi. Followed you in.
I saw you in my mirror. Did you know that I saw you at Ahhyeah?
At Ahhyeah.
You're at the intersection right by Ahhyeah.
Oh. Yeah.
You were right behind me,
right,
and
yeah.
I saw you in my mirror.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, my coworker's behind me, and I was like flashing my brake light at you.
Oh,
But I didn't know if you could see it.
No, I didn't.
But I can't wave at you because at that point my hand's on the clutch,
Right.
and I can't let go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, at first I'm like, that kind of looks like that could be Doug. And I saw GoPro on the back of the helmet. I'm like, that's got to be Doug. And then I looked down at the license plate. I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely Doug. And then I saw you drive away. I'm like, oh yeah.
that's what I was looking for. I was like,
he likes to drive a little fast on his motorcycle.
what is that? I've seen a lot of cars in my life, but I've never seen one of those. It's a little chilly. 70 degrees. Jones Auto Sales. I like riding motorcycle. I'm cold. I like riding motorcycle. I'm cold. Ooh. Ooh. Boom boom.